Good evening. Welcome back to the BBC. We are here. I am loading up to London. I'll try not to be short. Ooh, right. I am. I have joined the Prime Minister. But please don't say anything, Mr. Prime Minister. I'm not in the. I'm just gonna actually deafen myself a minute. Right. Apparently there are some other press conferences here. I am about to get this link posted. Hopefully. British Broadcasting Service. Right, I need to get this link posted. We're going to be playing everyone's favourite game of Make It Across London Without Dying. Unarmed. Right, do I have BBC perms yet? No, I do not. Oh, and I just failed to connect to the game. This is going well, everyone. This is going very, very well. Shall we try a second time? Just make sure nothing's happening in there. Go on, go on, go on. Yeah, there we go. Way. Oh, for fuck! No, I'm not! Right, this game is hating me right now. Like nobody's business. Right, finally in. Trying to get my stream link up currently. Failing massively. No, that's the wrong one. Oh well. Right,
I'm excited to ask questions, guys.
Currently my stream is not showing anything, which is slightly concerning.
It's fine, we've got 8 minutes to prepare.
Come on, show the Roblox player, you fucking... What? Just confirm, no one can see anything on the stream. Yeah, right. Stream is having a moment. Right, we're just doing display capture. I guess.
Right, making Downing Street a safe zone. Let's see,
Oh no,
are
you're
there
saying
any...
like everything. Oh well. Oh, right, it's working again.
Can me and Tom's game for Flame News. Okay. Where's the thingy?
Bruh, I can't even.
What's the issue?
I'm asking Bling to appoint me. Because.
What, do you need to post the live stream
Yeah.
on the BBC channel? Link all to your BBC State Media.
Hopefully Bling will be a star and post me.
Right, guys, so generally, if you want to ask a question when I've done my little speaking thing, just say, like, Prime Minister or whatever, and I'll just choose any of you at random. Okay?
Okay. Sorry, I did get given that. That's fun. Come on. Yes! Grim.
You got access yet?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and it didn't accept the link. Why didn't you hyperlink, mate? Because there's a dot there for some reason. Oh, Jesus Christ. There we go. Finally. Can you see if you can get someone to ping that live stream?
You might want to turn your camera away for a second whilst you're looking at the actual preparations.
Well, we have a lovely array of people here today for the press conference, including the seemingly Director General of the Trident Pact. I don't know who he is. The Premier of Bermuda has just shown up, and the Lord Bournemouth is here. along with many cabinet, the Prime Minister, of course, some guy from the Almighty Gang, the personal private secretary, I believe, or the press secretary to this PM. Who's just walked in? More rasp. Anyone back here? Where even are we? Ah, so in this part of Downing Street. Ooh, that's the map. I assumed London would be out there, but clearly not. Where's that bar across my screen? Oh, it's something. Something may have been announced and I didn't realise. Can we get a ping, please, Wadger? Or did they say no? Because right now, like 2 people are watching your press conference. I can't even
Well
run away.
done.
Ah, that's not good. 'Cause this is meant to be a safe zone. So well done, admins.
That's a typical start.
Oh, I'm dead. I couldn't even escape because I was in free cap. I mean, I don't know how he's walked around the entire place. He's still there. Oh,
Guys, just so you know, blame that on admins since that was supposed to be classed as a safe zone for the day.
so put that.
Right, so, Badger, as your first unofficial question, what are you going to do to improve Rasp's abilities to not be useless?
Would love some LAS right now because now I've got a respawn.
Don't really know if that tipped over, then oh god. Let me just go complain really quickly.
Because if you look at how many Rasp officers are on, I'm not sure how that happened, at least not without seeing a lot more gunshots first.
Yeah, hold on. We
Just walked in. Oh god, one of them on the BBC board as well. The Rasp are doing so well. Ah. I love being on the foreign representative team. I should make some money.
It's like nothing happened.
I know, let's see if I can
Right, should
re-enter
we
Downing Street.
begin in like? I don't know, how many people are watching the stream?
I don't know, can I be let back into Downing Street, please?
Yeah, gotta let you in. Should we begin at like 10 past?
Yeah, currently the stream is witnessing me viewing no one at the gate of Downing Street, trying to get in.
Yeah, come to this one. Oh, this is real. This is real television.
The
You're seeing
Prime
what
Minister's got to let his own representatives into Downing Street.
Yeah, this is an assertion of dominance, if there is anyone.
Thank you.
Right, let's go in. Evening.
I'll be back in a couple of minutes, my dinner's just arrived.
Need to get off the Uber.
Right. We'll begin at 10 past. Okay, guys? So, yeah, you got 5 minutes to
Wow,
I don't know,
nothing
get your
happens.
life in order.
Right. How's the stream?
Nothing
Five
happens.
Five
Nothing
watching.
happens.
Has it even been pinged? It has been pinged.
Yeah, I don't
No,
think anyone
no,
cares.
it's not been pinged.
I swear it has.
There's a ping. There was a ping in the channel. I think it was a ghost ping. They ghost pinged it, which is annoying. Oh well. 6 people. The numbers are flying up for you, Roger.
Oh yeah, it's so true. People will just watch this when it's recorded. It's fine. I'm gonna grab a cup of water really quickly. We still have 4 minutes, or maybe when Tom's back, we'll just start then. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah, make sure you're fully zoomed in on the podium, by the way. The right one.
Tell me how to do my job. I'll zoom in wherever I like to zoom in.
Do you know what's annoying? They can't like move the podium, so you're gonna have to be zoomed in of like this really weird angle on me. Why is Bling just stood there?
Yeah, well, you'll be happy to know to zoom it in. Why is my mouse just... Oh, I'm getting a fucking call, that's why.
Oh, let me
Right,
just shut
thank
off
you.
the-
To the person who just called me, you have fucked my... There we go. Hold on, I've actually got to take this call.
Is Theo still gone?
No, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
everyone disappearing.
No, I'm here.
Right,
I
let's
didn't say
begin. Let's begin in 20 seconds, guys. Okay, like as soon as it hits 30, then I'm just gonna come out.
Good evening, people. This is BBC News. Today we are witnessing the Prime Minister's post-King's Speech press conference. I'm sure he'll be giving us a thrilling speech, followed by some questions by myself and representatives from other news organisations, including Flame News, and I have no idea. I believe the Scotsman's here, among others. But the Prime Minister.
Good evening. Earlier this evening, the House of Commons, for the first time in almost a year, successfully passed a King's Speech without the admin policy, forcing all to either abstain or vote aye, which I'd like to thank the entire House for passing nearly unanimously, which only states the major support this government now has. It's a success like no other, and now the will of the people can be finally honoured as this government can feel confident in getting down to business and making meaningful change. Over the coming days, we'll be seeking to make advancements on key pledges, such as the made during the election, with the confidence that this government will not be suddenly removed. Policies such as a renewed Commonwealth and diplomatic outreach, revitalise emergency services, and progress when it comes to courts reform. Tomorrow, though, is when we'll really hit the ground running, with personal ministerial meetings between me and all ministers regarding progress over the past week, as well as a second cabinet meeting. My second audience, with His Majesty the King as well. These meetings and events will also not be irregular, and I hope to convene the cabinet once a week, publish ministerial briefings bi-weekly, as well as hold press conferences once every 2 weeks, as well as those briefings, all in the interest of transparency and maintaining communication between this government and the public, as well as internally. It's an absolute honour to have been returned to this office and now have the confidence of the House on my side for the foreseeable future. I will now be taking any questions.
Mr. Prime Minister.
BBC.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. In your King's Speech, there was no mention of UKSF or MI5. Will you be reopening these ministries that have, these agencies and regiments that have been sorely missed?
As promised in the election, MI5 is not coming back and UKSF not coming back. NCA, as they now have the power to do under the law, thanks to the former Attorney General, will be assuming, well, de facto, the responsibilities MI5 once did, which I'll say, nice, they can be given a real sense of purpose if they didn't have one before. So generally just domestic or counterintelligence, however you want to put it. But no, they're not. MI5 and UKSF not reopening. Any other questions?
Yeah, can I ask a question on, just quickly, you've said in the King's Speech that you'll be amending the Prosecution of Offences Act. Will you also commit to removing the pointless limit that means that no new regulations can be issued under the Criminal Justice Temporary Provisions Act of 2025? So the courts may function, because currently that restriction means that no new regulations can be issued and could lead to the criminal justice system coming to a abrupt stop.
Well, thank you, Tom, for your question. Well, I was in a meeting the other day with myself, the Attorney General, the Secretary of State for Justice, and his predecessor in the last government's Ministry of Justice and the Attorney General's office. Topics like that were brought up, and they're going to be discussed in detail over the coming days, especially in tomorrow's cabinet meeting and my personal meeting with the Secretary of State for Justice and Attorney General. But it is something that is very likely to be on the table to be approved, because progress in the courts has been so slow, and there are certain individuals seeking to keep progress slow. Any other questions?
Mr. Prime Minister.
BBC News.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. You mentioned in the King's Speech that you were looking to get individual treaties with countries who share the same core values as as Britain. Do you have any countries in mind, and will you be inviting them to the Trident Pact?
Well, I don't think I'll be directly inviting anyone specifically to the Trident Pact. I mean, at most so far, following a meeting with the Far Eastern Commonwealth, they said that they'd like to join the Trident Pact, and we said, well, you can apply if you want, and then they got voted on and they got in. So that's at most what we've done in terms of getting people in there. In terms of who specifically, Commonwealth nations are my priority. They share our values and a common sense of camaraderie and spirit with us. So yeah, but on terms of specifics, outside of Commonwealth nations, not right now, because we need to see who we can trust and who we can't, which has already been very greatly assessed by the fact we've met with so many nations so far. Most of them primarily Trident Pact, but we seek to go far beyond there soon in terms of opening up diplomatic channels. Any other questions? Anyone else? Not even Flame News? Or even the Scotsman? BBC, you just stood up. Do you want any further questions?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. So the attendance into Parliament today was far better than it was last term. Do you foresee a successful parliamentary term this term?
Well, I sure hope so. As you'll know, the moment I came back, politics, it's like it's been bedridden for months, and then all of a sudden it saw me walk through the door, and it was like that one scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where, was it like Joe or something? He jumps out of bed despite being bedridden and starts dancing around. That's basically politics the second I walk through the door, and I hope it stays on like that for the rest of the term, and I'm going to do my best to make sure it does. Flame News.
If you don't mind me asking, Mr. Prime Minister, I see you said a lot about Commons changes, but you didn't mention anything to do with all-party parliamentary groups. Will your government make reviving these groups, which were seen earlier in this group as a great way to foster cooperation between the two houses, as a priority, as currently all of the groups lie dormant due to bad regulations around the issuing of them, and a lack of understanding in the Commons of the value that these groups could bring by allowing them to work across houses on matters such as the Constitution or foreign policy, etc.
That is also being considered it's not kind of on the back burner right now, but a lot of the issues we are planning on bringing to the forefront if we think it's right. So yeah, just know it's on our minds. We haven't passed it by. Okay. Anyone else?
Mr. Prime Minister.
Let me think. Flame News from the other guy.
Yeah, so you spoke a lot about the Commonwealth in the King's speech. Are there any specific plans regarding the British overseas territories, like, Bermuda?
Well, I understand there's been a lot of talk about Bermuda, but we don't really want to show favourability. There won't be much changes to know, but at most I can imagine, say, debates over autonomy for foreign affairs again, which I would be willing to grant, like we did with Gibraltar a few months ago. But I can't see any issues or anything arising where we'd have to try and deal with them too much in terms of specific issues outside of diplomatic channels in general. But yeah, we're not also going to show favoritism to one Bermuda, because I've got a sneaking suspicion that you might. Any other questions? BBC.
Mr. Prime Minister, in your King's speech, you promised a full revival of the London Ambulance Services and the Fire Brigade ahead of by the end of next term. How do you intend to achieve this? Both agencies have been basically dormant for a rather long time, and many see them as unrevivable due to them being single-purpose agencies.
Well, progress was made today, specifically in LAS, I'll say, where, pardon me, shut a burp, where some of the command was expanded, and they are looking at removing inactive members of command. I'd like to do the same for LFB, and going, if you're not going to be active and contribute, then you're out of here, pal. We need new people in leadership. I feel like the update itself will be what provides that incentive for people to join. What I've heard so far from the development team is that it's going to make it actually interesting for them, which is not that much now that I say it out loud, but you've got to stay hopeful, you've got to stay optimistic, and either way I was seeking to give them a revival. Originally, just kind of on the back burner, Met was prioritised first, and it still is, but they're now a bit more with the update idea. I'm now thinking, get them sorted. Any other questions? Flame News.
You mentioned London Ambulance Service command changes. Has it been considered to amend or repeal the London Ambulance Service Act of 2025 that was passed by the Home Secretary during the Grantham 4 Ministry back in February, that puts some incredibly complicated and unachievable objectives in place before you can make changes to certain parts of the London Ambulance Service? And further to that, have efforts been made to ensure that all the changes made so far have complied with that act?
Well, it's similar to what I was saying earlier, but we have a very decisive decision right now. That stuff's getting changed, okay? That's not sticking around. That's where I'll leave it at for now, okay? Any other questions? BBC.
Thank you. Some may say, Mr. Prime Minister, that your King's Speech was rather short and somewhat vague, with very few legislative promises outside the Communications Bill. How would you respond to such claims?
Well, I'll be very honest, my original draft of it, so I started writing it, like, the moment that we won the election and got into government. It started very, very long, and then I was thinking, okay, this is very, very long, people are going to get sick of this, so I cut it down a little. And then I went over it to some people, they're like, we can't say that here, we can't say... This is very transparent, by the way, this is what I love, being transparent. They're like, no, we can't put that in there, we can't put this in there, because, you know, even though it needs to be done anyway, stuff like NCA and stuff, like I mentioned earlier. In terms of its vagueness, I'll admit, it does feel rather vague, which is why I tried to keep at least a little spice in it. But it's the equivalent of, like, instead of adding oregano, you just add salt, which are already in there. Enough with the food terms, though. Sorry, I've kind of lost my train of thought on that, but in terms of its vagueness, I'd say I did try and keep it a little bit understandable, but more will be announced across the term. Flame News.
You've mentioned a lot of ideas and stuff, but just going to refer quickly to one of the previous governments, and specifically the previous Prime Minister being Mega Machines, so a few Prime Ministers ago now, where during his government there were some pretty atrocious relations between the noble upper house and the government. Will your government commit to working with the noble house rather than trying to ride roughshod over it on a my way or the highway style that was commonly seen by the Mega Machines government?
Now, as you'll know, I was kind of undergoing a bit of a group-wide blacklist during the Mega Machines ministry, so I'm not fully up to speed on what happened there. But whatever the good part of that was, which I think was the latter part, I'm pretty sure we're on a roll with that. The good part of what you said, yeah, doing that. Honestly, I'm not really up to date on it, like I said, so I can't give a fully reasoned answer. But if they made a bad decision, and you're asking me if I'm going to do a bad decision like that again, no, I'm not. Okay? Scotsman, if you're here.
Thank you. No, apologies, I'm dialing in for this question. And it's a bit of a twofold question. First of all, does the government support the British Armed Forces, and what are its immediate plans for the forces? And then I'll give you the next question after this answer.
Well, in terms of BAF, of course we support the BAF. I mean, if you didn't support BAF, which, like, the deputy leader of the NLP, who was pursuing a bit of a judicial stance against them, which, like, I'm doing privately, but that wasn't really that great of him to do. On terms of immediate basis for what we wanted to change, I mean, we did authorise the opening of the I've never really said it out loud before, so the GGs on a trial basis, okay? Which, as the Defence Secretary said when he put his post out in government, which hoped to make it more interesting, appealing to serve in. So, trialling of that was basically our immediate decision, but we didn't really want to, as you say, rock the boat too much on BAF, because it's that season of the year where not many people join, and you have to just deal with a bit of an activity, but I'm going to try and change that. Sorry, I just burped again, having sparkling water, as much as you can. You had a follow-up question, didn't you?
Yes, thank you. So obviously, as you've said yourself, the Secretary of State for Defence has authorised the opening of the Grenadier Guards, which comes at a time where the British Armed Forces already stretched extremely thin, with multiple regiments open with manpower issues. We currently have the Grenadier Guards, the Parachute Regiment, the Military Police, the Royal Navy, the Royal Marines, the Royal Air Force coming, and I believe there's one that I've missed. Given that there are so many regiments open for a group that only has 1,800 people in its server, do you think the British Armed Forces has too much open, and will you take action to combat that?
Well, I campaigned on making sure that it didn't get too overstretched, and I stand by that. Keywords, trial basis. Having more regiments does give people more reason to join, but the reason we kept it as the word trial basis is to see if that actually works when put into practice. Any other questions? I saw Flame News stand up earlier, if you'd like to.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Flame News first.
I was just going to quickly clarify, because as you pointed out, you had some issues with the being able to be around for the Mega Machines situation. So the majority of the question was just, will you be working with the noble house, the House of Lords, or will you be trying to ride roughshod over them, like many governments sometimes do at their own peril?
No, because the Ofcom still find us if we do a bit of foul language on here. Do they strike you for that?
It's after 9 p.m.
Right. Well, as much as people think I am, I don't want to be a mega arsehole when it comes to this. So we're gonna cooperate. You know, can we like fully swear on this?
It's after 9 p.m.
All right. Well, as they said in the song, "Galvanize." Go to the gym. Don't be a prick. Okay. Leaving out the first part. Don't be a prick. Key policy. With the House of Lords, we want to actually cooperate, not go to them and be so upfront in their face, being a bunch of massive pains in the arse. If I was a Lord, I wouldn't want that. And as the PM, I know the Lords don't want that. Okay. So yeah. BBC, I'm sure you had a question.
Yes, Mr. Prime Minister. So recently you removed the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, and you were looking for a new one, to my understanding. How is that going, and when do you expect a new Met Commissioner to be appointed?
It's going very well. We've had a massive amount of applicants, which is very, very good. Because it means a lot of people really do want to see change made in the Met. Which, you know, is something that we really need to see after the confidence in the Met has been so low and just basically abysmal. Sorry, Rasp, who are here, but, you know, I've seen the polls. I expect one in the coming days, I believe. Now, I'm not specifically on the commission as by law, but I believe they are going through all of the applicants and their interviews right now. So expect one in the coming days. Okay, there's a lot of people and a lot of questions that have been wrote down, a lot of answers to go through. Okay, any other questions? Scotsman?
Thank you. Prime Minister, now the last government, in conjunction with the Defence Council, made a requirement for those joining the Royal Marines to serve a minimum of 2 weeks in the Royal Navy. Now, I'm not sure if you're too familiar with the way those services work. However, one is very much combat-based and one is very much let's jump on a ship and go sailing. My question to you is, will you be maintaining that policy, and if so, will you be continuing it in other avenues? Because the policy is very similar in nature to, for instance, imposing a 2-week requirement on those wishing to become parachutists to join the Royal Air Force. So I'm sure you can see the similarities there, and I hope you'll understand what I'm trying to ask.
Look, a few days ago I wasn't too clued in on the state of everything, but look, in terms of the Royal Marines, it's part of the Royal Navy, and due to the elite nature of it, as well as the fact that it is brand new, I believe, as far as I was aware, the 2-week rule was only applicable to everyone for the first 2 weeks. Forgive me if I'm wrong. So currently, the potential Royal Marine course is open to anyone, including even transfers from other branches. Do correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not fully clued in on everything. Okay, so you know, like in the case of Canada, fails the course after enlisting the Royal Navy and having served for 2 weeks stuff. I believe was it you who submitted a question to the Lords as well, to the government regarding this, because
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so the reason I did do heavy research on this is because of that question, and I was like, I should look into this. But yeah, that's basically the state of things. Any other questions?
I
Are we
motion
done?
to adjourn.
Sorry, one more.
Yes.
Yes. Right, seeing as though no one else is asking that question. Prime Minister, the Scotsman 3 days ago put a series of polls out, and whilst obviously your government seems to have quite a substantial majority of the public support in these polls, one thing that is clear is that upwards of 75% of the public do not have faith in the political sector as a whole. What will you and your government be doing to try and bring back that faith and confidence and instill a bit more trust into the political sector?
Well, be a stable government. Why do people not have trust in politics? It's because of groups like the Fat Cats. It's because of how the previous government handled their ministry. It's because of how Unity handled their ministry before that, and how my one before that also went down in flames, and the one before that went down in flames, and the one before that went down in flames, and the one before that was kind of stable and he left on his own terms. The fact that it's been a repeating cycle for the entirety of 2025 up until last week of just a cycle of governments coming in and collapsing is literally what drives down confidence in politics. But the fact that King's Speech just passed the House almost unanimously, like aside from 2 abstains from 2 NLP MPs, I think that shows that we're in here for the long haul this time. And when we're able to now, say, but in the next 2 months, by the end of it, we're able to say we've provided meaningful change, we've brought back stability, politics is back to normal. I'm pretty sure that poll will have completely switched around, and people will be like, yeah, I have faith in this again, because both parties or all parties are able to actually cooperate, make meaningful legislation, policy, and govern properly. I think the way we rebuild it is we just govern in a correct way, which is something that we haven't seen for months. Now, I think we're done.
One last question.
I'll take Flame. Well, can I take Flame News first?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Just a very quick question. You were talking about the NLP earlier, and we mentioned the deputy leader of the NLP, and specifically his attempt to take action against the Ministry of Defence for an investigation into himself, where in his attempts he made false claims by using a ministerial position to justify these false claims, which multiple people can confirm are categorically false. And further to this, he was seen attempting to bribe a police officer. Do you believe that the deputy leader of the NLP should resign in the face of all of his attempts to commit fraud and his actions where he attempted to bribe a police officer?
Well, you've just taught me some new information. Absolutely. If you're going to do that, you just need to resign. That's it. If you're watching, you should resign. You should resign now. I understand he's running for leader as well. You should pull out of the race now. Anyway, that's about it. Scotsman.
Thank you, and I've done you the benefit of providing the link to this. On the 7th of this month, Admiral Outlaw, the First Sea Lord and the Chief of Naval Staff, announced the opening of the Royal Marines. And in such announcement, he clarified that, quote-unquote, for people to join the Royal Marines, they will have to serve 2 weeks in the Royal Navy and get to a minimum of Able Rate 1 with 5+ activity points. To me, that reads as if any prospective individual looking to join the Royal Marines must serve 2 weeks in the Royal Navy. Given they serve 2 totally distinct and very different roles, one very much ship-based and one very much infantry and combat-based, will the government again review that commitment and will they change it? Or likewise, will they require members of the Parachute Regiment to serve 2 weeks in the Royal Air Force?
Good point. I'll talk over it with the Defence Secretary. You see, this is transparency at its finest. It's like Trump right now. I'm just saying I'm going to talk it over with him right now. Any other questions? BBC, Flame News, have I missed anyone? Are we done? Is it over?
Prime Minister, you'll be sick of hearing my voice.
Yes, Scotsman.
Thank you. Now, obviously, the last government committed in Parliament that they will not appoint an information commissioner, a role that is quite substantial and important in relation to freedom of information requests. Since that announcement, the government, on presented freedom of information requests, has advised that potential requests do go to an information commissioner that the government has yet to appoint. Will the government commit to appointing one, and when will the public be able to see that appointment being made?
I've contacted the Cabinet Secretary multiple days ago about the appointment of an information commissioner. It's just a case of when he manages to get back to me on that and begin the application process, as the law states, making it open and fair, yada yada. You get what I mean, it's civil service. But yeah, need an information commissioner. We need one as soon as possible, pronto, ASAP. As soon as that can be done and applications can be done and people can be processed, I want it done.
And Prime Minister, what would you advise people do then in the meantime for freedom of information requests?
Well, I think they might have to just continue trying to contact the relevant people to do with their information requests. Say you're trying to contact, say, HMT, then you go to the HMT server, you make a ticket, you ping the relevant guy, you're like, I've got an FOI. But need that information commissioner, but continue with how it's usually done until then, I guess, and then say that you'll get more details once you contact the person. And I think we're done. No faking out this time.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
All right. What did you want to? Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said off my own voice. Is that
I was
it?
just
We're done?
thanking you for the press conference, Mr. Prime Minister.
All right, yeah. Thank you everyone for coming. Expect these bi-weekly. My chief of crew, I think it's staff now, Pickle Morty, will be organising a proper press pool, an organised server where this can all take place. I believe it'll be Downing Street server once we can get that back on track. So these will become more organised, and expect them once every 2 weeks. Tomorrow I'll be meeting with the Cabinet, His Majesty the King, every Secretary of State and every Minister that I can, and I'll be headed to PMQs. It's going to be a long Sunday, and every Sunday after that is going to be long, so that's going to happen every Sunday, okay? Apart from the conferences, okay? These are only bi-weekly, because I can't bother doing this every week. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and 13 of you or so, last I checked, watching on this stream. Yeah, thank you for BBC to hosting as well, and we're done. Thanks, Rasp.
That
thanks,
was
Mods, for
BBC
taking that,
News. Thank you for watching.